This is Football Night in America, served by Applebee's.
Hello, hello. 4 Sundays in the books. We are on our way to the second month of the season after the Monday night game with winless Cincinnati and Pittsburgh. Mike Tirico, Tony Dungy, Mike Florio, Rodney Harrison to talk about what we saw on Sunday number 4 of the season. The result that jumped out was the biggest surprise of the season so far. Tampa Bay beating the Rams and scoring 55 points, a Bucs franchise record to do it. And Jared Goff. Tony, I'll start with you. You mentioned at halftime of our Sunday night game, Goff threw 68 times, tied for third most in the history of the league, threw for over 500 yards, but you have some concerns.
Yes, we've seen him play a couple of games now where he hasn't been sharp. In this game, he wasn't sharp. He missed some wide open, deep receivers, could have been touchdowns that turned the game. He had 4 turnovers. He threw 3 interceptions, fumbled the ball under pressure, and Rodney said it. People, I think, saw the blueprint today. Put heat up the middle, get people after him, and he's not going to play that way.
Are you shocked by the way he's playing?
I was shocked.
See, I'm not shocked because I don't think he's a great quarterback. I think he's a good quarterback in a great system with a great offensive mind, with a lot of weapons around him, but I don't think he's great. So what I saw today, it doesn't surprise me.
And it was so strange in the offseason because criticism was building of Jared Goff. And people like me were saying maybe he is just a product of the Sean McVay system. Maybe he's not a true franchise quarterback. And McVay defended him so zealously, it backed them into a corner where they had to give him that gigantic contract, $33.5 million a year. Now he's their guy, and they've got to make it work. But the thing about pressure, that was something the Patriots spotted going into Super Bowl 53. That offense generally does not handle pressure well. And Goff, as you said, Rodney, just does not respond well when he's got those guys in his face.
But why are you throwing the ball 60 sometimes? You just paid Todd Gurley all this money. I know he's not 100% or he's not the same Todd Gurley. Why are you throwing the ball that much?
Well, I'm going to tell you why today. It's because what you said during Football Night in America, their defense did not play well. They had to do it because they were behind. Tampa kept scoring on them during the game. That's the one walkaway concern that I have with the Rams. They let the Bucs walk up and down the field on them during the game.
55 points.
I know there were defensive scores mixed in, but that's got to be a concern out there.
It is, and we saw a game like that last year against the Chiefs, but that was Patrick Mahomes and all of that talent. The Bucs moved up and down the field. They got the big throws. They converted third downs when they needed to. It didn't look like a Wade Phillips defense.
And something to watch. A couple of injuries in the secondary for the Rams. Short week to Seattle on Thursday. And Florio, let me ask you this. San Francisco bye. We didn't see them. We know Arizona's struggling. They haven't won yet. Here are the Rams. Here's Seattle. Here's San Francisco. 1 month in, which team do you have the most trust in the NFC West?
I believe the Seattle Seahawks. I've been on that bandwagon for the past 2 years. Russell Wilson, one of the best quarterbacks, one of the most underrated quarterbacks in the NFL. And they've reloaded that defense. They've got the running game, and they're growing the passing game with Doug Baldwin now retired. They've got some other guys who are stepping up, and I think over time they'll be the team that arises from that quartet.
I was on the Seattle Seahawks bandwagon, and what happened last week and the way they played against New Orleans with a backup quarterback, I was very disappointed because I felt like that defense was ready to take the next step, and you saw those linebackers missing tackles. You just didn't see the consistency on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah, and I still like the Rams. I think they've got a lot of talent, but I tell you what, look out for the 49ers.
Absolutely.
Don't sleep on the Niners.
It's a Monday night game next week. San Francisco hosting Cleveland, which got back to the right side, and they are 500, but tied for the division lead in the AFC North. Question 2 belongs to Florio.
Yeah, a team that's 500, but in 4th place in the NFC North, the Minnesota Vikings. Do they have a Kirk Cousins problem, Coach?
Stunning that Florio got the Vikings question.
You know, we thought that Kirk Cousins would be the answer, that he would give them stability at the quarterback position, that he would make these big plays that they need. They've got defense. They've got running game. They've got that home field advantage. They kick well. They have not gotten good quarterback play, and Kirk Cousins, now it is, the spotlight is starting to come on him, and the pressure is coming, and you can almost see it when they play. He's going to have to make some plays to get them going.
It's your job and responsibility as an athlete is to restore your own confidence. You can't go to a coach. You can't go to any other player. You have to find a way to restore your own confidence. And I think when you look at Kirk Cousins, he's not playing with the same confidence that he played with at the Washington Redskins. You see him, he's back there, he's kind of lost. His teammates are now speaking out on him. Adam Thielen came out and said something.
But he's the same guy he was in Washington. I think you're giving him too much credit. In Washington, in the big moments, he couldn't deliver, and that's the problem. He seems too aware of those big games, big moments, and he just can't deliver. He's too conscious of it, and he tightens up too much.
I just don't see the fire in him. You know, the fire that he played with. Maybe that's it.
No, I think he's got fire, but he's going to have to complete some big balls in big situations. That's what we need to see.
You like that fire is what you haven't seen from him on the field over the last few months.
Because guess what? His teammates gravitate toward it. It seems like it pumps him up. It focuses him. I just like playing with that edge.
Mike, can I come to you on these quotes?
Well, you got it.
Yeah.
What Adam Thielen said today, at some point, you're not going to be able to run the ball for 180 yards, even with the best running back in the NFL. That's when you have to be able to throw the ball. You have to be able to hit the deep balls. And he also said of a pass where Cousins overthrew Thielen, he made a great read of finding me open and just didn't complete the pass. It's as simple as that. I mean, that's the closest we're going to see a guy on the record calling out his quarterback.
And see, I don't like that. I don't like that. Not in public. I say, bring him to the side, go up to Kirk Cousins, say, let's have a conversation. Matter of fact, bring the entire offense. If you're a leader and you're one of the highest paid guys on that team, you bring everybody in and you address them, man to man. You don't have to say it to the media outlets.
Balanced, he did call out himself and everyone else, but certainly those comments in there are pointed towards Cousins. That's not usually what you'd expect from Adam Thielen.
No, it's not. And I know when I was coaching, when we'd have those frustrating losses, that would be my last message in the locker room. Hey, we're going to get shots from a lot of people. Let's be careful about what we say. Make sure we're all in this
United.
together.
You always made sure you made that point that when the locker room's closed before the guys talk to media. So right at the end of that.
The last thing I would say is remember, what you say now, everybody's going to put it under a microscope. Make sure it's positive. Make sure it's together. Don't leave any room for any doubt of
and
what
don't
you say.
ever criticize one of your teammates, because there's something that you could do a lot better as an individual.
Vikings sitting at 2-2. They go to the Giants, and Daniel Jones is red hot. He's won 2 in a row. And then they'll play Philly after that. So a tough game coming up after the Giants game, and it'll be a road game for Minnesota as well.
I've got question number 3.
Yes, sir.
And it says, if Mitchell Trubisky is out for an extended period of time, how will the Bears hold up?
It's going to be a very boring Chicago Bear team. Because Chase, I don't want him throwing the ball down the field. Maybe, you know, and maybe that's what Matt Nagy's going to do. He's going to continue. I always talk about him being too cute on offense. Maybe he continues to do that. Maybe a lot of misdirections and things like that. But I don't trust Chase Daniels at all.
But Chase Daniels knows that offense. That's the key. He's been with Matt Nagy in Kansas City. So maybe they can do more with him, because Trubisky, there was still that feeling of a work in progress, and maybe they were trying to find their way. Daniel came in and got it done, and he was okay last year when he had to play when Trubisky got injured. So I think they'll be okay. If the defense plays like it did today, they'll be fine.
The defense is going to play like they played today. What they've got to do is not turn the ball over, as you say, not get too cute, not lose games on offense. It's not going to be pretty, but it doesn't have to be.
Do you trust him?
I would trust him.
Oh, I don't trust him.
But
no
I would control things and make sure he's doing what he does well, and tell him you don't have to put up 30 points. You don't have to make those great throws. When it's in the balance, if you need to throw the ball away and punt it, we're going to do that. We're going to play field position, and we're going to win a lot of tight, low-scoring games.
See, I would love to play for you. Because you would have never yelled at me. You always been positive, very optimistic about everything.
You got yelled at?
We went to the NFC Championship game. We went to the NFC Championship game in Tampa in 1999. Sean King was a rookie quarterback. We had 2 quarterbacks get hurt. We had a great defense. You know what I told Sean?
What'd you tell him?
We're going to run the ball, play defense. You hit the balls that are open. We're going to go all the way to the championship game. And we were that far from the Super Bowl. Sean played great, didn't turn the ball over. We ran the football and played defense and won.
Just one question. Just one question like that. So who would you rather have, Sean or Chase?
Either one of them would be fine. Chase Daniels would be fine with me. Go in there and execute our plan. Don't play out of yourself. Don't think you've got to be a Pro Bowl quarterback. We're going to be fine, and we're going to win.
It's really interesting, because just take a step back and think of what we're doing with the league. It's spread offenses and offensive geniuses and all this other stuff. Start to look at what's happening around the league. J.J. Watt came back, made another couple of plays after a 2-sack game a week ago. Shaq Barrett is making game-flipping plays for Tampa. Khalil Mack, Tony, we sat and watched back-to-back in Tampa, back-to-back plays. He made terrific plays.
And he's not the only one on that defense. They have guys running around, hustling, hitting. They're making people worry.
The only problem is you put so much pressure on your defense all the time. And you know throughout the course of a season, guys get injured, guys get hurt, they're in and out. And it's just very hard to hold that level, especially if you're not getting a lot of help offensively.
But they didn't have Akeem Hicks or Roquan Smith today, and they still were suffocating.
Of the Vikings offense.
Yes.
Yeah. It'd be interesting to watch how that's going to play out in the NFC North. That division still has everybody at 500 or above, and everybody has shown signs already in the first month of the season that if healthy, they can be good teams. What Detroit did against Kansas City, they have competed in every game, and they've shown resiliency within games multiple times in the first month of the season.
But you know what Chicago knows in their heart? They feel we can stop any of these teams, all three of those teams. We can stop Green Bay, we can stop Detroit. We can stop Minnesota with our defense.
They didn't stop Green Bay. They lost to Green Bay.
Well, they held them to 10 points.
I'm just saying, that's what it's about.
Chicago, by the way, goes to London. So we'll start with the London games here next week. They go to play Oakland, and then they have a bye. Rodney?
Number 4, I'm going to
start
start with the big guy. Yes, you, Mike. What's your big takeaway from the Pats-Bills game?
Buffalo's defense. You know, I mean, we watch Tom Brady walk up and down the field on a pretty regular basis against most defenses around the league. And Buffalo's defense kept coming, kept the pressure on Brady. Everybody says, oh, get pressure up the middle on Tom Brady. Not many teams do that and succeed, and Buffalo did, and had the coverage at the back end. I was impressed, other than the wedding at halftime. I was really impressed with how the Bills' defense played.
Coach?
Yeah, no, we have watched the Patriots these first 3 weeks, and we're seeing the ball go all around the field and just scoring. And the defense did make them look average today. The Patriots defense, on the other hand, is probably better than I gave them credit for. So they can win a lot of different ways.
Well, you know, there's so much hope that Josh Allen's going to become a true franchise quarterback, but he looked like a rookie, even though he's in his second year. Big moment, big spot. That's where you got to step up and deliver. That's where, you know, back to Kirk Cousins. You have these times, you have these occasions, and you're either going to get it done or you're not. Guys like Tom Brady and Peyton Manning would get it done. Guys like Kirk Cousins and today Josh Allen didn't get it done.
Buffalo played great defense today. They ran the ball well. Frank Gore ran hard.
Over too much, Coach.
But the quarterback let them down today. This is where he had a chance to win the game. Usually you say, I got to outscore Tom Brady. Well, the defense held him down. They take away the run and put it all on him. They didn't do that. It wasn't all on him, and he just didn't make the plays when they needed it.
And Matt Barkley couldn't drive them down. 4 opportunities, got close once, couldn't get any points on the board. And it just points out the importance of backup quarterbacks going into the season. We're a quarter of the way into the season, and almost a third of the teams, 10 of the 32, have moved on from the opening day start at some point, whether it was injury or in a couple of cases like Eli and Daniel Jones, where they make the change, and in Miami as well, Fitz started and then Rosen came in. But we have already seen a third of the league change the starting quarterback for opening day for a variety of reasons, and who knows how long it's going to be with Chicago that we talked about earlier. So, how about you on the New England-Buffalo game?
I would say I think Buffalo's going to be good for a long time. I thought in that division it'll be the Jets competing with the Patriots as Tom continues to get older, but I think it's going to be the Buffalo Bills. They got a lot of good young players, great defensive coordinator, and Leslie Frazier. I think they're well coached. You know, he's going to get better.
He'll improve.
He'll improve. He'll learn defenses, and he'll learn not to try to do everything himself. But I think they're going to be good for a long time. They're in a lot better position than the Jets.
I like what Sean McDermott's doing up there with the Bills. All right, the speed round, gentlemen. Your reaction to the Chiefs-Lions game?
I really came away impressed with the Chiefs winning a close game and a tight game. Their defense is still a handicap. I don't think they're a championship defense right now, but I thought Patrick Mahomes, again, making the plays they needed when it wasn't perfect.
You know, I spoke to Travis Kelce, the Chiefs tight end, after the game, and he said every win gives you confidence, but wins like this actually give you more because it's hard-fought, it's back and forth, it's adversity, and you know you're going to have games like that down the stretch. You're going to have games like that in January, and you just build up that base of belief that you can get it done when you do it in September.
I thought the Detroit Lions would get blown out today. And to me, I thought Matt Patricia did a great job of preparing his team. Emotionally, they were ready. They were flying around schematically with the schemes. They were showing him different looks, confusing Patrick Mahomes, a young quarterback. I thought they did a really good job of just competing today.
Living in Detroit, I hear a lot of off-season talk radio, and the constant question, because it has been 6 decades since the title. Tony has not seen one in his lifetime, and he's from Jackson, Michigan. You hear a lot about Matthew Stafford. I'll take Matthew Stafford as the quarterback of my team any day. He has a toughness and an ability to stay resilient and keep his team. He was not 100%. He was banged up. He did turn the ball over. He was doing things he normally doesn't do. But when he needed to make throws, those throws
Beautiful.
had, the window was barely cracked, and it was in a corner, and Kenny Golladay made plays. I'd take Stafford to quarterback my team any day. He's not the problem. They're better than they were. Reaction to the Browns beating the Ravens to get to 2-2.
I was surprised. I didn't think they'd go in and beat the Ravens, but they played well on offense, and I'm seeing things out of their defense that I wasn't quite sure they had. They're an up-and-down team, but they're going to be good.
I feel like the balloon popped a little bit with the Ravens when they lost in Kansas City and they had trouble getting it back together. They just felt sluggish. There was a quality to them today that we hadn't seen so far this season. But, the Browns, when you get them out of Cleveland where there is so much pressure on them, everybody is all in on the Browns, and they're 0-2 at home. They're 2-0 on the road for the first time since they were the Ravens when the Ravens were the Browns in 1994.
Yeah, for them to bounce back the way they did after last week's loss just showed me a lot of heart, a lot of just tenacity. For them to win this game, I thought this was a huge win for them. And it continues to build confidence in Baker and get back to running the football like they did today.
Second half of their schedule, they have some more win opportunities. If they can get to 3-5 even halfway through, I think they're going to have a chance to still get in the playoffs, maybe division champ, maybe wild card. Do you believe in Gardner Minshew now that the Jags have won 2 games?
He played so well last week, and then you see the beginning of this game, and he's struggling, and you say, well, that's the rookie, that's what we expect. But in the fourth quarter, when they had to have some plays, he moved around, he scrambled, he made him. The kid's got something.
I believe in him. I believe in Blake Bortles if Leonard Fournette's rushing for 200 yards a game, right?
Well, that was a great thing, too. They gave the ball to Leonard, and when Minshew was struggling, that became the offense, and Fournette carried them. So I think he's going to do a good job, especially when he's got the running game.
Interesting to see how long it'll take that collarbone to heal for Nick Foles, because if Minshew is playing well, maybe give him a little more time, because why do you want to take the kid out if he's getting it done?
I like him. I think he's tough. I think he's mentally tough to come in the situation that he had to come in. I think they're going to continue to compete. I'm not going to say win, but compete.
How about Denver? 0-4. They've lost 2 games similar ways, with a late roughing the passer penalty on a drive and a kick with 0-0 on the clock. Do you believe in the Kyle Allen-led Panthers?
I think he's a very accurate passer. I think there's a calming influence when he's in the huddle. And I think from an offensive standpoint, you're more structured because you know exactly what you're doing as opposed to Cam Newton doing whatever he wants. So, yeah, this could be the future. Yeah,
there's no temptation to do things with Kyle Allen that you have with Cam Newton because you felt this angst. Do we run Cam Newton? Do we not run Cam Newton? How do we keep him healthy? With Kyle Allen, you just play quarterback. And you got Christian McCaffrey, and he uses Christian McCaffrey. He's just got to work on the fumbles. He's got 5 in 2 games, and I talked to him about it after the game. The hand size was an issue for him coming out of college. He said it's not about the hands. Plenty of quarterbacks, no matter how big or small your hands are, they fumble. I just got to get 2 hands on the ball when I run.
Well, when you go back to their Super Bowl year, yes, they had Cam Newton, but they ran the ball and they played defense. And that's what they're going to have to do. Whether Cam's the quarterback or whether Kyle's the quarterback, their defense has to play at a very high level, and they got to run Christian McCaffrey.
Allen, 2-0 Carolina. Jones, Giants, 2-0. Minshew, Jacksonville. Not saying.
Play the young guy.
Just saying. Lastly, through 4 weeks, what are you most bummed about?
Well, I can tell you for me what it is. This pass interference review and all this subjective judgment and coaches challenging, and it looks like it's an obvious overturn, and it's not overturned. We saw a guy get pushed down on the Hail Mary play today, and they said they looked at it and didn't call it. If you're going to have a rule and you're going to review things, review the call and get it right, please.
And I agree with you. And I'm told it's a weekly battle within the league office to try to figure out where the right spot is, because there's a bar somewhere between the Saints-Rams game, the debacle that triggered all of this, and invading the judgment of the officials on the field. There's a line. We just don't know where the line is, and I don't think they know where the line is. That's the problem. The play on Thursday night, they hit on Marquez Valdez-Scantling before the ball came in. There was another one today where it looked questionable. The Hail Mary looked questionable. I think they've just decided we're going to wait for another Rams-Saints before we throw a flag.
Mike, what are these guys talking about? You got legitimate points, but this is football season. How can you be bummed about NFL football? I'm pumped. I'm not bummed. I know it's going to be some rules and things like that, but I'm not bummed.
You're not bummed about anything. You're not,
nothing.
Not even the Parmesan-crusted tilapia tonight.
Was it real tilapia? Was it real?
And you talk about Adam Thielen.
On that
calling
note,
people out.
That ends our recap of Sunday 4 of the NFL season. October can only get better and only bring better fish. We'll see you on Football Night in America, 7 Eastern, every Sunday on NBC.
With the tilapia, Mike?
I thought the tilapia was
What'd you do to it, Matt?
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.